Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 100% Chelsea. Today we are doing our preview for the Chelsea versus Manchester City match. We are joined by Dan, also known as Son of Chelsea. Say hello.
Hi lads, how you doing?
And also we have a subscriber. We like to sort of have the old subscriber on every now and then. This is something we'll be doing more regularly, so definitely keep an eye out on Twitter. We have Alexander. Say hello, Sam.
Hi guys, how you doing? Excited to be on my first ever stream, so hope it'll be a great experience.
Yeah, he's an international blue. He's from Hong Kong, is it, I believe?
Yeah, I live in Hong Kong, yeah.
And what time is it over there right now?
5:04 in the morning.
Wow. 5:04 in the morning. So if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. But anyway, as I said, we're here for the Chelsea versus Manchester City preview. I'm going to start off by saying, obviously, you guys might think I'm a pessimist when it comes to games, but I'm not feeling much towards the game tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be a fairly boring draw, if not a very, very low scoring game. I don't know about you, Dan. What are your thoughts going into it?
I'd say I'm not overconfident, but I'm relatively confident about the game. I feel with City's. I was talking to Josh Lawless of Read Manchester City, which is like a Manchester City kind of article, kind of blogging website. And of course, he knows very much about the club. And I was talking to him, and he was talking about these reports that have come out about City fielding a very kind of inexperienced young side. That was kind of shown today. City had a youth game, I think, an under-21 game, and a load of young players were rested. So I think that pretty much shows that City will be resting a load of players because of their fixture congestion. So I'm sort of confident because I think Gus is going to put out a very, very strong team. Sure, we lost JT, but I'm sort of been buoyed in a sense by that performance that we saw on Tuesday. PSG are probably the toughest opponents we've come up against this season. Probably even, City, when we played them the back end of August, I think it was, at their kind of peak of the season, was probably the best side we've come up against in terms of their form. But I think PSG, one of the best sides we've come up against, the players they had. And the fact that we basically were competing with them for 90 minutes, basically, and, a lapse of concentration, maybe you could blame it on Thibaut, 2-1, especially some of the other players like Baba Rahman, I thought played really, really well. I thought Cahill and Ivanovic had a solid night. I thought Mikel redeemed himself quite well. I thought Fabregas, defensively for me, some of the challenges he was making really, really impressed me. So I think for tomorrow, going into tomorrow's game, knowing how seriously Gus Hiddink takes the FA Cup with the sort of teams he's fielded so far, with that mix of youth, I think we've got a really good chance tomorrow. As I say, it's Manchester City. They've got players like Iheanacho, who's a young player but scored a lot of goals in the FA Cup. So I wouldn't say I'm overconfident, but I think most of us can agree that we seem to have turned some sort of a corner. It isn't the drastic change that I think we all hoped for, but we're winning more games. We're looking more solid at the back. That win against Newcastle last week sure would have given so much confidence to the likes of Pedro. Costa's looking on form at the moment, so I think we've got a really good chance tomorrow. I don't think anyone should expect us to go over there and roll City over like 3 or 4-0 just because they're fielding an experienced team by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't want the players to feel like that. I think it will. I do agree with you, Max, because I think there'll be a load of City players, young players who want to prove a point tomorrow if they do get their chance. So it could be a tight game, but I'm hopefully with a strong team, maybe with an element of youth in there, we can get the job done.
Yeah, it will definitely be a tight game. As you were saying about the whole confidence thing, I am confident. I mean, if I see any team winning tomorrow, I do see Chelsea winning. But I do definitely think it would be a low scoring game. What are your thoughts going into it, Alex?
I think that we'll win. I'm feeling confident. I'm not like Dan. I'm not feeling too confident because City do have a great team. He said he's going to rest some players, but they've got pretty much two squads that can go out there and challenge anyone in both Europe and in the Premier League. But I'm feeling confident because I think that, like Dan said, our defense had a very, very solid display. Baba looked good. Ivanovic with the captain's armband, he played really well against PSG, and Cahill and Aspilicueta having a good game as well. So I think that we'll win. Probably going to be, like you said, a low-scoring game, but I think we'll just manage to win.
Yeah, obviously with the game midweek, I personally don't think it was the worst result. I mean, to me, it seems like a draw because we got that away goal. So I'm not looking at it as a loss. I haven't really thought about it too negatively. Obviously, Manchester City didn't play midweek. Although this is an FA Cup game, and they probably won't put out their full first team squad. Do you think that might play an impact on the team tomorrow, Dan?
In a sense, you could say that, but because of, as we've just been discussing, kind of the fact that it does look like they're going to field kind of an inexperienced team. Remember, they've got a fixture congestion of their own coming up. They've got to prioritise. They've got the Champions League game against Dynamo Kiev, which they've got to travel out for on Monday. The game's tomorrow at 4. Then they've got the League Cup final on Sunday. So they've got to prioritise because this is their best chance against Dynamo Kiev. And then they've got Liverpool next Sunday, where a chance for a bit of silverware. Now, City, with the investment they have, a bit like Chelsea in a way, you would say they should be able to challenge on all fronts. But with the injuries they've had recently, with the loss of form, with also the fact that Pellegrini seems to have gone into this kind of phase of promoting a few more youngsters in his team, I do expect a less experienced team. I still think there will be a blend of experience in there. I expect to see maybe Vincent Kompany start that game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Aguero on the bench, but I don't expect all of their kind of big guns to play straight away, or at least start the game at least, which hopefully can give us a bit of the upper hand in terms of experience. So it could have that impact, but you've got to look at it on a situation where City are looking at this as a massive kind of 7 days for them in the season, and they've got to kind of prioritise what do they care about more, because they haven't got a fully fit squad. They got players like De Bruyne out. Vincent Kompany, as I've explained, has just come back into the first team, and he's a key player for them. So there's going to be a sense of maybe not giving him full 90 minutes. I don't know. It will be interesting, but that could come into it, but I don't think it will play a big of an impact. Say if City didn't have a game midweek, for instance, against Dynamo Kiev, then it's a different story. I think Pellegrini puts out a stronger side tomorrow. But I think because they've got that Champions League game, and the Champions League is so important to the way City kind of look at themselves and want to be looked upon in terms of European football, especially owners of that club with Guardiola coming in, best chance against Kiev. I highly doubt to see a full strength 11 tomorrow. That doesn't mean that the 11 that gets put out there will be the worst Manchester City 11 you've ever seen, and there won't be any shred of quality within there. That's not what I'm suggesting, but I expect it will have an impact.
Alex, do you think the whole sort of Pellegrini Guardiola thing is going to affect the mentality in the Manchester City team and maybe the way that the team sets out tomorrow? Because obviously he's not going to be too desperate for silverware. However, he may still want to go out and prove a point in order to say to other teams in the summer that he can still do a job at a top.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think that City will, even though they haven't been in great form the last 3 or 4 games, but I think that they're going to be up for it, and they want to prove a point for Pellegrini, and they want to play for every competition. And I think they've still got a great team. So I really don't think it matters too much who the manager is, if I'm honest, because they've got pretty much 2.5 squads who can go out there and challenge. But as for your question, I think not too much. I don't think it will affect them, but yeah, I don't think it will affect them too much.
The City players have looked like they have been a little bit affected by it recently. I mean, their performances haven't been too great. Pellegrini may be a little bit complacent. Who knows? Obviously, we can't look into the dressing room. But who do you see City resting tomorrow, if anyone? Do you agree with Dan?
I don't think Kompany will be rested. I think he'll play a full 90 minutes. I think Yaya Toure will definitely be rested. Now for Aguero, I think he might even start. Maybe not a full 90 minutes, but I think he will start because Pellegrini doesn't have a lot of faith in other players. Like we've seen, Boney's had to go up front for Man City, and Nacho's had the game. They've all done well. Boney didn't do too well, but Nacho did really well, and Pellegrini doesn't have a lot of faith in other players but Aguero, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him start, but maybe not a full 90 minutes. I think Yaya will definitely be rested because he's been playing a lot lately, almost every game for them. And I don't see too many changes, to be honest, apart from maybe those two or three players, I think.
I've got to be
He'll,
honest with you. I don't really see them resting many players. I, I don't know about our lineup. I think we will more or less go full guns blazing in the sense we'll put out basically our first team squad. I mean, you look at us against MK Dons, for example, which was a walk in the park. We still only really put out one player that isn't a first team starter. Two players, sorry, Baba Rahman and Loftus Cheek, who are still fringe players in the sense that they could easily be in the first team for a Premier League game. You wouldn't be surprised. So with how we set out in that game, a game that you'd think would be incredibly easy, which it was, I really do see us putting out a full strength side tomorrow. Do you agree with that, Dan? Or
Absolutely. I think I think Gus has really managed the FA Cup well with the squads he's put out. He's really been able to have a mixture of the core of the first team, but mix it in with some youth. I think he's really done that well. I think as we saw last year when we slipped up against Bradford, you can almost go one way where you put a load of fringe players in a team mixed with youth, and you sort of get this team that's never played with each other. We have fringe players who may not have the most kind of match fitness or experience at the time, and then it all goes terribly wrong. I think what Gus has done this year in the first two rounds, sure against weaker opposition, I think he's been able to keep the core of a very strong side. I really didn't expect to see Thibaut start against MK Dons, but he did, and I think we've seen that, and I think it's worked really well because I think if you have the core of your first team within there, so the likes of Costa, Pedro, Oscar, Mikel, Matic, you throw the names in there, Ivanovic, who are used to playing in first team football, but then you bring in a Loftus Cheek, so you're bringing in to a team who have been building in confidence. They're experienced players, so I think it works a lot better. Now tomorrow, because it's Manchester City, we may see a sense where I've kind of put a team in front of me that I think will probably start tomorrow. I think there's probably only one position up for debate, and I think Loftus Cheek potentially for me should start, simply on the basis that I think Loftus Cheek he featured the full 90 against MK Dons. He came on late against Newcastle, didn't really have much of a chance to have an impact. They're going to be putting out their youth players. If we're going to have the 10 first team players, if you want to put it like that,
I think
we should have at least.
Definitely.
Yeah, and as well, you've got a player like on the bench as well in Bertrand Traore, who scored a goal against MK Dons, came on, scored a goal against Newcastle. That's going to give him more confidence. So I think that the way Gus has utilised this competition, I think, has been very positive. I think he's been able to, as I say, bring in the youth players. But I expect about, as I said, the majority, 99% of the team, I think will be very similar to the one that started on Tuesday. I don't know if you want.
Curiosity, sorry, you were saying about Bertrand Traore. Obviously, I'm sure you agree with me when saying that you're pretty sure Costa will start tomorrow. At some point, even in a game tomorrow, which is a big game, would you like to see two up front, maybe Bertrand Traore and Costa start together? Something different?
I wouldn't say two up front. I think, sorry, we've got a good system at the moment. I don't think there's any need to change it. I think there were some calls in December or October when we were in our really, really bad run, when there was like some calls to change it. I really don't think we should be changing it. I think we can still put out a very strong side with players who have form. If you take out, if you're like saying 4-4-2, then you have to take out a player like Oscar, who scored a hat-trick in the last round, who is going to be fresh, I think, for this game. He came on late against, I think it wasn't that late, but he came on against PSG in the second half. So I think he will start tomorrow. You've got a player like Matic in there as well. I really doubt that we should be changing our formation. I just don't think there's a need for it. Costa's back on form. Fabregas is back on form. For me, in a sense, I think there's really no need to change the formation. At the moment, I'd say it's working. I don't think you can. It's not like we've had 10 0-0 draws. It's not like we're still losing. We're scoring more goals. I think, as I say, players like Costa within the system, I think, are working well. And I think a player like Pedro tomorrow, if he can continue his good form, I think can really impact the game as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what is it? I'm trying to think. Two games in five, MK Dons and Newcastle, where we put five against the opponent. I mean, it definitely speaks for itself. We are scoring much more goals, and Costa himself is on 7 out of his last 9, I think, which he's looking incredible under Goose.
Really, really good.
Is there anything in that sort of any players there, any other players that you think should start tomorrow, Alex? Or
I think that I think that I'd like to see Loftus-Cheek start. I think he's probably the only youth player I would like to see play because of the position he plays as a defensive midfielder or as an attacking midfielder. I think I'd love to see Traore play, but obviously he's a striker and I'd have Costa all day long because he's much better in my opinion. But I'd like to see Loftus-Cheek start. I'm a massive fan of Loftus-Cheek, but I don't think he will start because I think he didn't want to go for a very experienced team. I think he'll go with Matic and Mikel to protect the defenders. But yeah, I'd love to see Loftus-Cheek start. I just don't think it's going to happen.
okay, that's fair enough. I mean, Matic is one of the few I say first team players that didn't play midweek, so he is going to be perfectly rested. I don't know whether or not he did travel with the squad.
No, because he was suspended.
Okay. Well, yeah, he was definitely rested as such. I mean, he's had rest through midweek, so we could see him start. I wouldn't be surprised. Ideally, as I've said, Loftus-Cheek. With the defence, do you basically see the same defence as there was mid? I mean, there's not really much you could change, is there? To be honest, so I don't really know why I said that. We've not got any options on the bench when it comes to the defence. You were saying about the midfield. We've obviously got 3 creative midfielders now who are looking good. Pedro, what a game against Newcastle. Willian, what a season he's had. Hazard, not so much. Do you see all 3 of them starting, or with your back two, do you think Fabregas will go in there? Maybe Oscar. Who do you think will be the 3 attacking midfielders?
I think I do. He will go with Hazard, Oscar. I mean Hazard, Fabregas, and Willian. That's what I think he'll go for. But
You think Pedro will be dropped even after the game?
I think he'll be dropped. I think it will be Willian, Fabregas, and Hazard. But what I would go for is Kennedy, Fabregas, and Willian. That's what I would go for.
Definitely. I mean, I was quite surprised that Kennedy didn't actually get.
Yeah, I was very.
Did he get any game time at MK Dons? I know he didn't start.
He only made one substitute.
He didn't even get any game time, which
He wasn't. I don't think he was even in the squad for that game.
Was there a reason for that? Injury, anything like that, or no? Who do you see the 3 attacking midfielders being, Dan?
For me, I think the positive thing about this game is I think we do have kind of a mixture of combinations. I'm a bit like I think most people, considering Hazard. I don't really want to see Hazard start. I think it's a bit of a shame, but I think when we look at the form of other players within that position, I just don't think he deserves to start personally. With the form of other players, we've got to be putting our best players out there that we know, due to form and just simply facts, have been performing better and can produce. So for me, it's going to be a mixture because it's tough because Matic didn't play on Tuesday. So I expect him to start, but do you drop Mikel, who scored on Tuesday, is still going to kind of be of some good form? You've got to mix it up, I think. I personally wouldn't be too surprised to see a midfield, the behind, like, I think, to see Matic and Loftus-Cheek. So I expect, in my opinion, I think I'd personally see maybe Willian on the right wing, Fabregas in the middle, and Pedro out on the left wing. As I discussed earlier, I think there's a load of combinations you could throw in there. I think just simply if we're going off the basis that we want to see youth in this team, and the fact I think Fabregas has been much better this season. In the second part of the season, I guess you could put it, or recent times. I think creatively of Costa, I'd like to see Fabregas start in this game. So to have Oscar and maybe Mikel on the bench, I think is good to have in kind of the depth for the game. So that's the way I'd go, just simply because I think Willian, Fabregas and Pedro on the basis, that's the best, I think, 3 behind a striker that we could put out in the moment in terms of form.
I've got to be honest with you, and if anyone in the comments disagrees, attack me in the comments, whatever. Hazard recently, for me, has looked, I'm not going to say a lot better, but he's looked like more of a danger. I feel like he's got, like, tactically, he's a lot better than he was. He is still not performing, but at games, for example, when he came on at Watford, he looked good. When he came on at, no, did he start at MK Dons? I can't remember. No. Yeah, he did. At MK Dons, again, he looked good. He was one of the best players for our team then. Didn't score, but he did look very threatening. I think he has looked a lot better. I'm not saying that a first team start tomorrow is justified, but I wouldn't be surprised. If I had the choice, I'd probably say Loftus-Cheek and Mikel in the defensive midfield position. Fabregas in the centre, attacking midfield. That's the only position for me that I think he works at. That's why we didn't see as much of him at PSG. I think putting him in that defensive midfield position just doesn't work. And then thinking about it, I'd probably have to agree with you, Alex, with the Pedro and Willian. I haven't been impressed with Pedro at all this season. However, he did look incredibly good against Newcastle. And then obviously, I'm sure we can all agree that Costa should be up front. Should we get on to score predictions? Start with you, Alex.
I think it will be 1-0 or a 2-1 game. I think it will be very close, very tight, but I think we'll just manage to win. So I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
What about you, Dan?
This may sound confident, but I'll go 2-0. But I think it will be a very close game. I think we've seen 2-0s in the past. That doesn't mean we're going to stroll the game. I'd like to think that. I think if the facts we've been kind of presented and what we've read before the game are true, it's going to be quite an inexperienced kind of mix of a Manchester City team that we're not used to coming up against. If we can field a very, very strong team, as I say, still giving some chance to maybe a Loftus-Cheek, time to a player like him and Traore, but still keeping the core of a very strong team, I think we can play well. I'd like to see that back four get a clean sheet under it as well, because I think simply whatever Manchester City team is out there tomorrow, it will be a massive win. There's no denying that. If we can beat them, get into the last eight of the FA Cup, I think it's a massive, massive win for the club, especially because I think then once you're into the last eight, you can start to think we're one step away from the semi-final and going to Wembley, and I think these players will get a lot more motivated by that. And that back four looks like it may be one that's not going to be just a rarity, especially considering this John Terry injury, which still is up in the air. We don't know when he's going to be back. So I'd like to see them get used to it, kind of playing with each other. I think I'm not overconfident because it's Manchester City at the end of the day, and they could, with 10 minutes to go, throw on Sergio Aguero, and even at 30%, he's still dangerous. They've got that ability. So I don't want to be too overconfident. I'll go with 2-0 simply because I think we've been playing a lot better recently. I think there are more players coming into form that are out of form that we saw earlier on in the season. Pedro scoring goals. Willian has been brilliant all season, consistently good. Costa, I think for me, at his best, which we've sort of seen him come back to, he looks a lot more fitter, sharper, his movement's brilliant, and he's scoring the goals. I think there are very few strikers, there are about 2 or 3 for me, who you could say are in front of him in terms of, for me at least, in terms of when Costa is at his best. I don't think there are many better strikers, and people may call me ludicrous on that sense, but I think Costa, the stats just prove that he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League currently, on form. The goals he's been scoring. So if he can bag a goal, brilliant. But yeah, I really want to win the FA Cup this season. I think it's a chance to get some glory out of what has been a pretty shambolic season for Chelsea, and a win against Manchester City, no matter what Manchester City team it is, it's Manchester City at the end of the day. They're supposed to be one of our rivals, so I think beating them, I think will be a massive, massive victory. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinions.
Yeah, for me, I'm in a bit of a difficult one with my prediction. I mean, I feel like we will be the better team without doubt tomorrow. I'm confident that we will play a lot better than they will. However, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I feel like they will score. So I would like to go for a 2-1 win, but then again, I don't see 3 goals being scored. So I've got to be honest with you. If I'm going to predict a score, say if I was going to put money on it, I'd probably say 1-1. But as I'm feeling a little bit confident, I'm going to go for 2-1 Chelsea. I mean, we should hopefully be the better team. I'm pretty sure we will be. It will be a massive win no matter what, as Dan was saying. Obviously, it is unfortunate that we get such a big team so early on in the competition, but in order to be the best, you've got to beat the best. I mean, you're going to face them at some point. Hopefully we can. I mean, Hiddink won it when he was here before. Maybe he could do it again. Who knows? It'd be nice. This is a cup we want. It's been a little while. Champions League is a long shot. It's not something we can focus on. But yeah, I'm going 2-1. We're all sort of just on the edge of confident. We're just sort of like just creeping across that line of confidence with tomorrow's game anyway. But thank you, Alex, for coming on. You should probably get to sleep fairly soon. Have you got a Twitter or anything you'd like to shout out?
Not really, no. My Twitter address is really long and I never use it, so
No,
might
that's
as well
fair
not
enough.
say it.
Yeah. As always, Daniel Childs, son of Chelsea. Link will be in the description. Go and subscribe to him. I mean, with it being half term, he has been churning out the content. I mean, you're getting about 43 videos a day with Dan this half term. It's intense. So definitely go and subscribe to him for quality content. Obviously, as you guys hopefully know by now, I have a channel called The 12th Man. Got some good content coming out on there now. Back on it. If you could try and get us to 600 subs by the end of the month, that'd be quality. So I'd really appreciate that. Also, obviously, if any of you guys want to come on a stream in the future, best thing to do would probably add me on Facebook, Max Perry, Perry. Message me. We'll try and get you on next time. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to The 12th Man, otherwise I won't let you on as well. No, I'm only joking, but yeah, all social media links to 100% Chelsea will be in the description. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, Alex. Goodbye, Dan. Thanks for coming on. Goodbye.